Hello, hello. Hey, Justin, what's up, bro? How you doing? How is everybody? Stand up a little late tonight, obviously. Usually up this time. It's about time I take my medicine and go to bed. But I've had a great day and I haven't really chatted much lately with my people. And how is everybody? Just trying to get a few things together here. Bear with me. Hey, Allie Boo. What you doing, baby girl? Just trying to get something done here real quick. Let's see. Trying to wrangle them up, baby. Wrangle them up. Gonna be talking a little bit about everything. A few things I want to talk about. Few things. Trying to change my thumbnail right now. How do I edit the damn start time? Well, that sucks, donkey dick. Just throw the whole kids away. I've been staying out of all this summer stuff and just doing my part of doing her daily missing videos and wanted or not wanted missing posters and stuff. And I'll scroll through the feed sometimes and all these people bullying people, assuming, accusing people of shit, calling the cops on people, and they do all this shit and then they cry when it gets when they get held accountable. Someone has recently been saying that someone threatened to kill them. They called the cops. It was all fake. and now they're crying about it. You gotta realize the stuff you say on here, you can't do that because it's gonna come back on you. If you're a nasty person, you're a nasty person, and nasty things are gonna come be said to you, you know? And I've noticed one creator, she thinks she's all big and bad and tough and treats people like total shit. She has, like, all the rejects in her chat, and she's boohooing and crying for the way she's been treated, but if you go back and look at her actions and the way she's treated people, it's horrible. You can't sit there and be like, "Do as I say, not as I do," and then cry, you know? And it really fucking bothers me. I'm tired of people bullying and treating people like shit on here. And, like, they try to advocate for, bullying and all this whenever they're the bullies. They have some of the biggest bullies in their circle, and it's not right. Some people in this creator, in my opinion, she's intoxicated a lot. In my opinion, it's alcohol, maybe drugs, I don't know, but in my opinion, she is, and I can see the signs of it, and I just wish people would stop. It's not cool. And ever since this certain creator got a big head and started growing and shit, her channel, things have gotten a lot worse. God don't like ugly. And honey, you ugly inside and out. The boy said it'll be fine. And I'm just sick of the madness on here. It's not right. There's just so many different things they could do and advocate for other missing people on their channel, but they're so caught up in this summer drama. It's not even about summer anymore. You can say all day you love summer, you're for summer. No, you're not. You're not for summer. You're for the drama. Y'all done lost what it's even about. Do something productive. Don't come on here dogging people and acting like you're a big old badass, you know? Because trust me, your day's coming. Karma's gonna get you. All of you. And I can't wait. And it's already working now. I'm just sitting back eating my popcorn. It blows my fucking mind. And it breaks my heart because it's not about summer anymore. It's okay, Allie baby. It is, Allie. And sometimes, like, I'm not about money and stuff, but I'm not about money. I really ain't. I can monetize this channel right now, and I'm not. It's not, I don't care about money on here. They wanna be number 1, you know, and doing this. They don't love Summer. One of them I'm talking about, she's married, and she has a guy in her chat talking about taking her clothes off, asking her to take her clothes off and sending nudes, and how why would you allow that in a chat about Summer? Why would you let someone talk like that about they're not wearing pants and hitting on this person and they're married? And why would you allow that in your chat? Why? That does not look good. I would never allow someone in my chat when I'm talking about Summer, talking about asking this creator to get naked, telling this creator they don't have any clothes on. It's just, it's disgusting. Your chat reflects who you are. How could you allow someone to say that shit with a missing little girl? How? Get your chat in check. Sharon, I don't know what you missed, honey. I'm sure you've been out on the streets more than I have. There's no way in hell I would allow a person in my chat asking me to get naked for them and that they're naked while I'm going over a Summer case. I would never do that. That's the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen in my life. It's gross. Yeah, if you're gonna do drama, leave Summer out of it. Move on to another case. Y'all are milking this case. It's stupid. There's nothing else out. That's why I do what I do for Summer every day and just run my missing posters and stuff for her because that's the least I can do because there's nothing new. I'm not gonna sit here and talk all day about the same old shit thinking I'm just fucking queen of whatever. Yeah, don't mix drama with the kids, man. You wanna be calling cops and shit? Come on, you're fucking trash. Making up lies that someone tried to threaten to kill you, whatever, dude. Whatever. It's the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. And everybody's like, "Oh, this person's got a big heart. They're for Summer." No, they're not. They're a narcissistic piece of shits is what they are. It's easy to put on a good heart. That's called covert narcissism. Coverts hide it, and they portray to the world that they're the best person ever and this and that. And it blows my mind. Oh, wow, Allie, that is gross. You'll have to text me and let me know about that. That's fucking crazy, man. it breaks my heart. I wanna cry, I swear, over this, and just get your chat under control to this certain creator. I'm very sure you know who I'm talking about if you're watching or look the one person talking about getting naked and asking the female creator to get naked on live. You are disgusting, and your chat definitely affects you and your channel. Oh, wow. Yeah, that don't surprise me though, Allie. That's bullshit too. I'm just this shit I've seen is just I don't even know what to say. When I'm speechless, it's just not cool. I just don't know. There's also another plane incident. I'm gonna I'm gonna play that. That's from our buddy Minutes of Horror. Please sub up to him if you haven't. So we're gonna watch this real quick. If you're into the planes and all that stuff.
This is no longer a coincidence. Now it's a pattern. You are now within minutes of horror, and your only chances of survival is hitting that like button. With that being said, let's continue on with the video. These freakouts are not condensed to only one area. They're happening all over the world. We had a man in China who saw people from Hollow Earth on his flight. We had a woman in America, North America, saw a man who is not real on her flight that freaked her out, where she had to leave this flight. We had a man, Tom Calling, a British boxer, on his flight to Croatia, saw somebody that scared him so bad, he just hopped out of his seat and ran. It took multiple people to tackle him, and even as they were tackling him, he was still trying to get away, yelling, "It's demonic. He needs to speak to the pilots." And now we have another incident in Russia. Russian flight delayed when passenger freaks out after seeing ghost of Wagner Group mercenaries on plane. Passengers heard this man yelling, "Stop the plane, there's ghost aboard." A man aboard a Russian S-7 Airlines flight was escorted off the plane after allegedly freaking out when he spotted ghost of Wagner Group mercenaries aboard, according to local reports. The man, only identified as Vitaly 39 by Russian outlets Baza and Mash, was seen in a viral video Thursday screaming on a plane set to depart the St. Petersburg-bound flight from Novosibirsk. As this man was yelling for the plane to stop that he sees these ghosts, the crew could not get him to calm down. In the end, the man had to be taken away by police and taken to a psychiatric hospital. Baza noted that the man appeared composed during check-in and boarding procedures, accompanied by his mother, but suddenly jumped out of his seat during taxiing, which is a very similar pattern to these people who are freaking out on these other flights. Nobody noticing anything unusual with these people at the airport, with these people prior to boarding, as they're waiting to board onto the airplane. These freakouts are only occurring during takeoff while they're in the air or right before they're about to take off. Now, I know I have a lot of people in the comment section of my prior videos saying that this could be mental illness, schizophrenia, but why is the mental illness only kicking in while they're on the actual?
Okay, how come everything that ever happens is blamed on mental illness or drugs? Every fucking time. I'm not buying it.
Plane itself. Then there are people saying this is drugs, this is alcohol. But again, if this was drugs, if this was alcohol, somebody would have reported seeing these people drunk or in a drugged up state prior to them boarding on these flights. And these people are actually pretty coherent when they're on video. The woman who freaked out on her flight was pretty coherent for somebody who was very drunk to the point she's seeing invisible people. Even the New York Post is now saying this case is reminiscent of Tiffany Gomas' viral freakout aboard the American Airlines flight last month, where she is seen yelling that passenger is not real. Now big media is coming out saying that these incidents are similar, that this is similar to the woman who freaked out on her flight. But I have been pointing this out weeks ago, and it's not just who they're calling Tiffany Gomas, but Tom Cowling and the Chinese man. These people are all having similar incidents in the span of less than a year. And these similar incidents all connect back to the paranormal. These people aren't saying they're seeing a human trying to do real harm on the plane or feel threatened by an actual human. No, all these people are saying that somebody's not real, demons, ghosts. We do have a pattern here. We can only go by what these people are saying.
Ellie, I agree. And demons, demonics, Sharon, no, it's not drugs. I will never believe this is drugs. I think there's demonic going on, aliens, AIs. It's not drugs, alcohol, mental illness. I do not believe that.
Not these other narratives, not these bogus narratives of people speaking out for them. Like that one woman who said about the woman on the American Airlines flight that she was sitting next to somebody that was going to threaten to take this plane down. Even though on camera we hear that woman say that man or whoever that is not real. How do you get a person doing terrorist activity to what we see on camera? Those two do not add up whatsoever. There is also the common pattern that we have not heard from these people anymore. By all accounts, they pretty much just disappeared. The woman they're calling Tiffany Gomas has not spoke out about her experience. Tom Cowling, the British boxer, has not spoke out about his experience. Even though he's pretty active on Twitter, he has not even given any updates on Twitter. The Chinese man, we haven't heard any updates about his case. And now this man, this Russian man who saw the ghost, has now checked into a psychiatric hospital. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do not hear any more updates about what happened to him or what he saw. I don't know what exactly is happening, but it does seem like there's a veil being lifted, and it's only happening on planes. And oddly enough, this is all happening around the time that the United States government is admitting to the existence of UFOs and aliens. Does it have a connection or anything to do with that? Now, if anybody were to ask me what exactly is happening here, I can only think of two theories. One could be crisis actors, that these people who are preparing for a big staged event that's going to encompass the entire world. This is why we are seeing these events happening in different countries. This is why it's only happening on planes. Project Bluebeam, the fake stage alien war, that aliens are taking the form of humans. And maybe they're taking the form of dead people, of people who have died, and they're spying on planes and spying on our technology. This would go hand in hand with Project Bluebeam. Like I said, this is perfect timing. Right when the United States government releases information about UFOs and aliens being real, we see all these people freaking out on airplanes about people who are not real. And out of all modes of transportation, I would think aliens would want to study and spy on aircraft the most. Now, another theory I do like is the Flight 401 theory. Mr. Ballin told a story about how Flight 401 Eastern Airlines went down in the Everglades in 1972. Now, while there were survivors, there were 101 fatalities, and the plane itself was not totally destroyed. There were salvageable parts. Now, these parts were not wasted. They were used on other planes for Eastern Airlines. Now, when these parts were used on these planes, a veil must have been thinned because not only passengers saw the ghost of the captains, co-captains, and other staff members of Flight 401, also the captain of those planes started seeing the ghost. And not only did those captains start seeing the ghost, but also the Eastern Airlines CEO saw the ghost of Captain Bob from Flight 401. So you have all these people freaking out because they're seeing ghosts, not real people, on these planes, the same planes that were using the salvaged parts of Flight 401. So is it possible that these airlines are practicing this again, that they're using salvaged parts from planes that have went down, that the spiritual veil is so thinned on these planes due to these spare parts, it's allowing ghosts and other entities to cross over onto these planes? I don't know what exactly is happening here, but like I said, there is a pattern now. But what do you believe? What theory do you believe that's happening on these planes that's causing all these people to freak out in a similar fashion? I do want to hear from you. Please comment below.
It's just all so wild to me. Allie, you want to go over it on your channel? Let's see here. Where is the... Okay, I want to play this one too. Okay, Allie. We can do that.
Mitch McConnell.
Okay, now I know that like Mitch McConnell, he is old. And then kind of like Biden, he's old, but still pay attention to the guy of Mitch McConnell on the right and let me know who he resembles.
McConnell freezes on national TV. It could be a medical condition. He is an old man. But where have we seen this before? You are now within minutes of horror, and your only chances of survival is hitting that like button. With that being said, let's continue on with the video. Now, I can be labeled a conspiracy theorist, but at the end of the day, I am still fair and balanced. And with Mitch McConnell freezing on national TV, I will give this one to the anti-theory people. You know, those people who call us cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for asking questions. Because Mitch McConnell is old. He could be having a variety of diseases. He could have had a stroke. He could be suffering from Alzheimer's that we don't know about. Or he just could have had a flashback to his younger years by hearing something. When it comes to seniors, it really could be anything that's affecting them negatively. So to try to make a conspiracy out of this is really a losing battle. But why would I be making a video out of this if there wasn't conspiracies to be had? And just because we're not talking about Mitch McConnell's freezing, there are other celebrities or people who are on TV that have frozen in mysterious circumstances. And in this video, we're going to do just that. We're going to look at the multiple times people have frozen on TV. Are these MK Ultra mind control glitches or something else entirely? I want to hear from you. Please comment below.
just as good as any all-stars out there, and that is what they were doing.
And you
Just watch these. It's crazy.
You mentioned Kyrie with tonight's draft lottery. We now have an answer for how that trade finishes up. So how do we view that now in totality?
She lost him. I just found it back.
I'm afraid we lost Rachel. We've lost Rachel Nix. All right, come back. Come back.
I'm here. I'm here.
All right, come back. Come back.
I'm here. I'm here.
You can't.
Australia and of our show, we were very empathetic about what happened and very sort of horrified. And so we were wondering, how is everyone going? How's Kim doing?
What? Okay.
I'm sorry, is there someone talking to you?
Yes, sorry.
Sorry about that. So I just was wondering
They
how
just
everyone's
came in.
doing. Hello, Courtney, have we lost you?
Bad news for the Oklahoma. Will someone do the junior high hug dance? It's like this. You gotta make it real awkward.
That's exactly how
You
he
have
did.
to have a certain amount of distance between
Yes,
the bodies
exactly.
in junior high.
Yes, like they say in Catholic school, leave room for the Holy Ghost. Anyway, there is a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today, Elvis Presley passed away, the king of rock and roll. And as Mark Cohn says in his great song, Walking in Memphis, there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle.
But it's been a heck of a ride, to be honest. I really can't complain. Yeah, I was kind of I was a little down. I found out I was injured and I had to have surgery again, or with another knee. But at the end of the day, I have amazing teammates. Guys like Draymond, everybody on this team, they come over there, they wrap their hands around me like,
With the Kumo.
I feel nervous, a little bit overwhelmed. I feel a little shaky. I don't know what's wrong with me. No, but it's good. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. You're gonna be good. It's a good. You look great, and you're amazing. And just from woman to woman, from hip hop, feeling great.
Yeah, the glitch people is really wild. Let's see here. Well, I haven't even watched this one, so we'll watch it together. Minutes of Horror is our buddy, and I know he does not mind us playing his videos.
You are now within minutes of horror, because in this video, we are going to explore the many strange and bizarre circumstances involving scientists and other employees within a top secret work company located in England called Marconi Work Systems. Even if you are a skeptic of conspiracies, this one may have you questioning yourself. Marconi, which today exists as a part of BAE Systems Electronics Limited. Its works include the development of futuristic weaponry and spy satellite technology. Marconi Work Systems had many strange deaths that took place between the 1980s up to even the early 2000s, which still today remains unsolved. So sit back and relax as we explore the mysterious group of deaths behind a even more mysterious company. Before we get into the story, I want to talk about something I find personally mysterious. Strange entities out of nowhere have been popping up randomly in my videos. Doing more research, I found out these entities are cryptids called the Unsubbed Ones. They're generally harmless, but to ward them off and keep them at bay, you must subscribe and hit that notification button. And with that out of the way, let's begin. It was March 1982 that Professor Keith Bowden, a longtime employee of the company whose computer expertise made him a valuable employee of Marconi, lost his life in a car accident. His vehicle mysteriously accelerated, left a 3-lane highway at high speed, and slammed into a railway line. His death was instantaneous and ruled an accident, but Keith Bowden's death would begin a snowball effect of more mysterious deaths to come. 3 years later, in March 1985, Roger Hill, a draughtsman with Marconi, died of a shotgun blast. His death was deemed that he took his own life. Only months later, the body of Jonathan Wash, an employee of a department within British Telecom that had extensive links to Marconi, was found on the sidewalk of an Ivory Coast, West Africa hotel. It is believed that Jonathan Wash either fell or was pushed from the balcony of his room in the hotel. Before this, Wash had told friends and family he believed someone was watching and following him, and that he suspected his life was in danger, adding to suspicions that his death was not due to an accident or ending his own life. As 1985 turned into 1986, the death toll at Marconi increased dramatically. On August 4th, 1986, a highly regarded young man named Vimal Dajbhai jumped from England's Clifton Suspension Bridge into the deep waters below. He did not survive the fall. Dajbhai held a secret clearance with Marconi Underwater Systems, a subsidiary of the main company. Only just around 8 weeks later, one of the most grisly of all the Marconi scientists' deaths occurred. The victim was a computer programmer, Arshad Sharif. Sharif's death was so bizarre and terrible, it even made the news thousands of miles away in the United States. The Los Angeles Times reported that Sharif died in strange circumstances when he apparently tied one end of a rope around a tree and the other around his neck, then got into his car and stepped on the accelerator. It was ruled he ended his own life. The coroner in the Sharif case, Donald Hawkins, commented oddly on the fact that Marconi was experiencing an extraordinary number of odd deaths that went well beyond just being a coincidence. As the months progressed in 1986, so did the deaths. The case of Dr. John Britton was particularly disturbing since he had 2 run-ins with death, the second of which he did not survive. During Christmas 1986, Britain ended up in a ditch after his car violently and inexplicably launched across the road, which was mysterious because he just bought this brand new car. He is lucky to survive, but the Grim Reaper was not happy that he did, because less than 2 weeks into January 1987, after Britain returned to the United Kingdom from the United States, where he had been on official secret business, Britain's body was found in his garage. He was an unfortunate victim of the effects of deadly carbon monoxide. Even more mysterious is the strange death of Richard Pugh, a computer expert who had done work for Marconi, and on January 1987 he went missing, where he was later found in his home's basement, where he had died of strangulation, but it was later reported that he had taken his own life. The Ministry of Defense dismissed his death with the following words: "We have heard about him, but he has nothing to do with us," which is kind of strange because Richard Pugh was a well-known employee within Marconi. Then there's the extremely weird incident of Avtar Gita, an employee of the British Ministry of Defense who worked on a number of Marconi programs. He vanished from his home in Loughborough, England, right around the same time that Dr. John Britton died. Gita's family feared the worst. Fortunately, Gita did not turn up dead. Quite the opposite. In fact, he was found in Paris 15 weeks later. He had no memory of where he had been or what he had done in that period. The deaths of Britton, Dajbai, and Sharif, coupled with the odd case of Gita, prompted a member of Parliament, John Cartwright, to state authoritatively that the death stretched the possibility of mere coincidence too far. Cartwright's words proved to be eerily right. On February 22, 1987, Peter P. Pell, a lecturer at the Royal College of Military Science, who had been consulted by Marconi on various projects, was yet another figure whose death was due to carbon monoxide poisoning in his own garage in the English county of Oxfordshire. In the same month, David Skeels, a Marconi engineer, was found dead under identical circumstances, carbon monoxide poisoning in his garage. Victor Moore was attached to Marconi Space and Defense Systems at the time of his February 1987 death, reportedly of an illegal narcotics overdose. He was said to be under investigation by MI5, the British equivalent of the FBI. 1 month later, in March 1987, David Sands ended his life under truly horrific circumstances. He was in the employ of what was called Elliott Automation Space and Advanced Military Systems, which just happened to have a working relationship with Marconi at the time. Sands, whose family and colleagues said he was exhibiting no signs of stress or strain, loaded his car with containers of gasoline and drove at extremely high speeds into an empty restaurant, where a fiery death was inevitable. 1987 was definitely a strange year for Marconi. There was yet another death of an employee of the Royal College of Military Science, Stuart Gooding, whose car slammed head-on into a truck on the island of Cyprus. Colleagues of Gooding expressed doubt at the accidental death verdict. On the very same day as Gooding died, David Greenhalgh died after falling or being pushed off a railway bridge at Maidenhead, Berkshire. Greenhalgh just happened to be working on the same program as David Sands. Just 7 days later, after Greenhalgh and Gooding died, only a short distance away, a woman named Shani Warren took her last breaths. Warren worked for Microscope, a company taken over by Marconi just weeks later. Despite being found in just a foot and a half of water and a gag in her mouth, her feet bound, and her hands tied behind her back, the official verdict was, you guessed it, she ended her own life. May 3rd, 1987 was the date on which Michael Baker was killed in a car accident in Dorset, England. He worked on a classified programs for Plessey. 12 years later, Plessey became a part of British Aerospace when the latter combined with Marconi. 10 months after, Trevor Knight, who worked for Marconi Space and Defense Systems in Stanmore, Middlesex, England, died, as had so many others, from carbon monoxide poisoning in his garage. No one was investigating Marconi. They said they were, but nothing came out of it, and these strange deaths continued into 1988. Peter Ferry, a business development manager with Marconi, and Plessy's Alastair Beckham both ended their lives via electrocution. And finally, there was the mysterious 1991 death of Malcolm Putty. He had told bosses at Marconi he had stumbled on something amazing and revolutionary. What that exactly was, no one knows, because within 24 hours, Putty was dead. His body was hauled out of a canal near his home. It definitely does not sound like Marconi has the best healthcare insurance policy, but the grim list of deaths finally came to an end. The controversy, though, was far from over, as there was another group of deaths happening in the world of microbiology. From the final months of 2001 to mid-2005, near countless people employed in an elite field of microbiology, which is defined as the study of organisms that are too small to be seen with the naked eye, such as bacteria and viruses, died under circumstances that within the media and government came to view as highly suspicious and deeply disturbing in nature. While not directly linked to Marconi, the world of microbiology did have secret links to agencies that linked back to Marconi. Secret links to worldwide intelligence services, including the United States CIA, Britain's MI5 and MI6, and Israel's Mossad. Inevitably, this mysterious collection of deaths in such a tightly knit area of cutting-edge research has led to a proliferation of theories in an attempt to resolve the matter. Some believe that a cell of deep-cover terrorists from the Middle East wiped out the leading names within the field of microbiology as a part of a plot to prevent Western nations from developing the ultimate bioweapon. A darker theory suggests that the same weapon had already been developed, and with their work complete, the microbiologists were systematically ended one by Western intelligence in an effort to prevent them from being kidnapped by terrorists who may have forced them to work from the other side. On July 18, 2003, it was reported in the British press that David Kelly, a British biological weapons expert, had slashed his own wrist while walking in woods near his home. Kelly was the British Ministry of Defense chief scientific officer who had links back to Marconi. Almost 4 months later to the day, scientist Robert Leslie Berghoff, 45, was killed by a hit-and-run driver that jumped the sidewalk and plowed into him in the 1600 block of South Braeswood, Texas. At the time, he was studying outbreaks of viruses on board cruise ships and their potential links to terrorist activity. Controversy largely began on November 12, 2001, when Dr. Benito K., a cell biologist working on infectious diseases, including HIV, was found dead outside of his laboratory at the Miami Medical School in Florida. The Miami Herald stated that his death occurred as he headed for his car, a white Ford Explorer parked on Northwest 10th Avenue. Police said that he was possibly the victim of a mugger. According to later developments uncovered by the media, however, the new word on the street was that Dr. K had been attacked by 4 men equipped with baseball bats. This was later recanted, and it was deemed that Dr. K had died of nothing stranger than cardiac arrest. And with that final statement in the public domain, police refused to comment any further on Dr. K's death. In the late 90s, you had the rise of popular conspiracy theorists, and a popular one at the time was Keith David, who was actually writing books and diving in too deep about the world of microbiology and Marconi deaths. September 1999, after attending the annual Burning Man event in Nevada's Black Rock Desert, Keith had headed out to the annual Burning Man Festival in Black Rock, just north of Reno, Nevada, a day before the event began. While on stage, Keith lost his balance and fell to the ground. At first, Keith thought he had just badly bruised his leg. By morning, Keith was in such agony that he had to call for paramedics, who were quickly on the scene and took him to Washoe Medical Center in Reno. Keith was told that he had fractured his tibia and that he would have to be prepped for surgery, which would require him to be anesthetized. This is when things started to get really bizarre. Keith had put a call through to a friend in the conspiracy field, George Picard, who told him that one of the attendants at the hospital had the same name as someone he debated on the matter of black helicopters in the area of Marconi, and only just a few months earlier. This could have just been mere coincidence, but as the time for surgery got closer, Keith got more and more anxious. He said to his nephew, Chris Davis, "I have a feeling that if they put me under, I'm not coming back. I know if I get put under, I'm going to die." That's exactly what happened. A blood clot during surgery took Keith's life. Friends also stated that just days prior to this, as Keith was researching Marconi and also Princess Diana's death, he was experiencing weird computer hacking. As I stated previously, Keith was writing a book that connected everything together, and he had a publisher and buddy named Ron Bonds, who also, not too long after Keith, died of mysterious circumstances. At the end of the day, no one knows what Marconi or World of Microbiology were building and researching. Any Google search on this only leads to who they are and the many mysterious deaths surrounding them, though it is apparent whatever they were doing warranted to them ending the lives of numerous employees, so no secret had gotten out. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content and channel and want to see more, please subscribe. Why do people believe something is going to happen on September 22nd, September 23rd? You are now within minutes of horror, and your only chances of survival is hitting that like button. With that being said, let's continue on with the video. There are many of those that believe that Hollywood and the elite do what's called predictive programming. Predictive programming is basically them telling us what's actually happening or what's going to happen in real life through movies and TV and other forms of media. And a lot of people have noticed prior to 2001, there was a lot of predictive programming that hinted to the events of September 2001. Not only would the numbers 9/11 be shown in multiple movies and TV shows, but there would also be references to the towers themselves being destroyed by planes. The biggest quote-unquote coincidence was on March 2001, where a TV series called The Lone Gunman released an episode that talked about the government, a conspiracy theory, where the government flew a Boeing 727 into the same buildings that went down on September 2001.
Saying our government plans to commit a terrorist act against a domestic airline.
There you go. Indicting the entire government as usual. It's a faction.
A small faction. For what possible gain?
The Cold War's over, John. But with no clear enemy to stockpile against, the arms market's flat. But bring down a fully loaded 727 into the middle of New York City, and you'll find a dozen tin pot dictators all over the world just clamoring to take responsibility.
When?
Tonight?
Myers, your flight's gonna make an unscheduled stop.
Corner of Liberty and Washington. Lower Manhattan.
World Trade Center. I'm going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.
I'll tell the flight crew.
In The Lone Gunman, one of the planes that was flying out to hit one of the buildings was coming out of Boston. And this would eerily predict one of the flights that flew out from Boston that hit the towers on September 2001. So there were a lot of references to September 2001 prior to September 2001. But even outside of September 2001, there have been a lot of events that were eerily predicted by the media. So you can't blame people for watching the media to see if they can spot any more events that are to come. And people have noticed multiple references to the numbers 922 and 923 all over the media, making one wonder, is an event scheduled for that date? Some believe it could be the actual rapture. Now, the Bible does state that nobody knows the time or the hour of the rapture, so I highly doubt it is the rapture. Or it could be the fake staged alien UFO attack. Project Bluebeam, set and ready to go. We have been hearing a lot about UFOs and aliens in the news lately. Or nothing may just happen at all. But is there any validity to seeing the numbers 922 and 923 in the media? Now, someone did make a great compilation of how often we do see 923 and 922 in movies and TV. Is this just a coincidence? Or is this indeed a pattern to get us mentally prepared for what's to come? Now, I am going to go ahead and play the video now, but I do want to ask you, after watching this, do you believe something will happen on September 22nd, September 23rd? Or do you happen to believe it's just going to be one big nothing? Please comment below.
Go ahead. Tell yourself it's just a number.
Okay, let's get you up to speed. This is a story about the future.
September 23rd, 2013. Does that date ring a bell?
Shut it.
The future can be scary.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes, you'll be mine.
With every second that ticks by, we get closer and closer.
I know.
Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, World's Fair. Don't forget your valuables and enjoy the future.
Until September 22nd, midday. And if the arc isn't finished by then, you will be.
Is that when it's going to happen? September 22nd, midday?
When did you come here? How long ago? 60, 65 days?
What was the date? What was the date?
September 22nd. It was September 22nd.
Why, that's a higher power than even I believe in. What is going on?
What exactly are we waiting for? The miles of rough, Mr. Meldrew.
I mean, he is God, right? Couldn't he stop a flood if he wanted to? Maybe send a little rain to stop
It's a
famine?
fallen world.
The miracle of deliverance. By 9:23, the water of life shall proceed forth from the throne of the Lamb.
God created it perfect, and we destroyed it with the first sin. Who destroyed it? Me? You? Him? The Lord works in mysterious ways, I know.
Looks like the end of the world.
No, not yet. I'm afraid this is just the beginning.
Say hi to Damien. And where are you from, Damien?
The seventh layer of hell.
Oh, that's exciting. My mother was from Alabama.
My arrival connotes the end of the beginning of the end, the new reign of my father.
Your father?
The Prince of Darkness.
Let the new prince be decided on Saturday. First South Park, then the world.
On the 23rd day of the month of September, in an early year of a decade not too long before our own, the human race suddenly encountered a deadly threat to its very existence.
And 23 Church Street, 47th floor.
You better hurry.
How long are we here? For the block center.
2 years, 3 months, and 9 days.
Signing off 9/23/1780.
9/23. So here's a strange new sentence. I am a Missourian.
Clearly, he's leaving us a code. Some way to reach him.
Time or date, maybe? September 23rd?
September 23rd, 1780.
This is Agent Dunham. I need immediate evac. 923 Church Street. There's a device on the 47th floor. Nicely done.
Good performance.
Captain's log, stardate 23.9, rounded off to the nearest decimal point. We've traveled back in time to save an ancient species from total annihilation.
She called us this Thursday morning, 9:23. I thought, okay, this is it. Here we go.
Confusion. Lots of confusion, mass confusion here. Is it open? Is it not open? Why are no orders coming in? Also the anticipation and the preparation for what will come, because a lot of these traders didn't know how the stock exchange was actually going to open the trade. Was it going to resume trade? Meaning stocks have been trading all day just because the New York Stock Exchange has been out of business essentially.
And they want to show us what their cameras caught. It's hard to see, but I want you to zoom in. So Jay McMichael's going to zoom in so that you can see a bit. The train is going from left to right. You'll see a white flash going across your screen.
This surveillance footage at 9:23 briefly captured the train passing by. Moments later, flashes can be seen.
Okay, so it's at 35. So this at 9:22, and this is real time, 9:22, 40. So let's pull it back just a bit again. Let's pull it back. Yeah, there we go. You'll start seeing it at 40 seconds after. There, the train goes up here. You're seeing the cars going, and it's full speed. I mean, it's going. And then all of a sudden, the flashes of light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, big flashes of light there.
Do you really believe that all of these references to September 23rd are simply one massive coincidence?
Shit's crazy, ain't it? Shit is crazy. Well, I'm a little over an hour, so I guess I'm going to cut this short, get my bedtime ready, and we'll talk to you all tomorrow. Allie, get that live set up, baby girl. I love you all. Thank you. Sleep tight and good night. And don't let the British bed bugs bite.
Other shit, it's time for a change. Yeah, I came with some buddies who don't mind getting muddy and bloody and standing for something and putting some sense into this corrupt country. Go ahead, big dog, come over here and say something.